use essential oils if you are privy to those, if you enjoy those. So we want to just make sure that our space to begin is very comfortable, very squishy or not, depending on your preferences. Actually, I'm going to turn the light on. And just feel safe is what I want for you. I want you to feel safe. Okay? That's the goal. We want to feel nice and safe. So when we are doing slow flow, we hold poses for a little bit longer than you would in a normal vinyasa practice to really allow for the blood flow to move its way through, and also to have your muscles have the time to really fire up so that when we do relax and release, you have all of that warmth built up. You're not going from cold. Now, that being said, you can do yin and restorative yoga is absolutely safe to do when you're not warmed up, okay? That's actually part of the point of doing some of yin and restorative yoga, is to not be warmed up. Now, do I recommend doing it in a freezing cold room? No, I do not. However, you can absolutely do this straight from bed cold. You can do it outdoors when it's chilly outside. Just bundle up and keep yourself safe. That's all. So I'll reiterate that from the beginning. Feel secure, feel comfortable, feel safe, okay? So wherever you are, and a seated position. And that is why we use lots of props with restorative yoga and also with a slow flow, because you want to be as safe as possible. And if you are not warmed up, if it's not 6 p.m., if it's not the evening time and you've had a whole day of movement, even if it's just walking around, you can have the props to lift yourself up so that your joints don't feel so much pressure put on them when we do get to that point. So we'll start seated. And we're going to flip our palms down. So flipping your palms down gives you more grounding sensation, and that is the point of a retrograde slow flow, or anything that is for retrograde, because when we're in retrograde, a lot of times we want to move forward, we want to take big leaps, we want to take big risks, but 9 times out of 10, a lot of times, the best thing to do at a time like this is to slow down, is to take a breath, and is to focus on yourself, and to really take the time to plan things out, to think about what it is that you want, to refocus, to realign yourself with your true wants, your true needs, your true desires, okay? So with all of that being said, palms down, shoulders up, back and down, eyes can close. And we'll start with just focusing on our breath. So doing our best to get rid of any outward noises that might be going on. And bringing your focus just to your breath. Trying to slow down your breath so each inhale is slightly longer than the past inhale. And each exhale becomes longer than the inhale before it. And now starting at the crown of your head, take a slow body scan, bringing your awareness slowly through your body, to get rid of any unnecessary tension or gripping. So by now we are at our eyes. Our ears. Our jaw. Our neck. Our shoulders. Your elbows. Your wrists. Your fingertips. Your rib cage. Your belly. Your hips. Your inner thighs. Your knees. Your ankles. The soles of your feet. And lastly, your toes. And take a deep breath in through your nose and sweep your arms high over your head. Exhale, reach forward with your hands, hinging at your hips. Reaching your hands forward. Once your hands hit the floor, you can slide your hands forward. Now here, you can stay here. Or you have the option of grabbing a hold of a block or a pillow or a rolled up blanket or towel and placing it directly underneath your forehead. Slowly lift your head up off of the ground or whatever you put underneath and walk your hands back towards your legs. From here, we'll extend our legs out in front of us, so you may just want to turn. Extend your legs, sitting nice and long. Now, if you have a hard time sitting up straight and tall, this is when you would grab a block or a blanket or a pillow and just lift yourself up onto something so that you can sit up straight and tall, okay? Once you get to that seated position, flex your toes back towards your face. And again, just resting the palms of your hands on your thighs, lifting your sternum away from your spine and drawing your shoulder blades together on your back. Continuing to connect with this breath. Inhale, sweep your arms high. On your exhale, forward fold. So again, if you wanted to place something underneath your forehead, you can rest a block underneath your forehead once you get there. Really just allowing yourself to rest. Slowly lift your head up and walk your hands back towards your hips. And just take a moment to allow yourself to reset. Third and final forward fold for today's restorative practice before we lie down, and then we're basically going to be lying down for the remainder of this practice. Like I said, slowing down. You draw the soles of your feet together, coming to a butterfly. Now, same thing as with that first forward fold. If you need to sit up on top of a block or a blanket, please lift your hips up and sit on that prop. And then same thing, you can always place something up or down, right in front of your feet or on top of your feet, especially if it's a pillow or a blanket, for your forehead to rest on. And then slowly start to forward fold, holding onto your feet to start. And then you can always reach out and just kind of find where you need to be, where you need to rest. And just really let everything kind of fall. Maybe you're closing down your eyes. And one more breath in. And then on your exhale, gently lift your forehead, press into your hands, and walk yourself back up. Now we are going to move towards the upper body to be able to open up and slow down, but without putting unnecessary pressure anywhere. So again, you want to make sure that you're nice and soft and comfortable. Gently lift your knees together. And we're not flipping over to our knees, we're going to flip over onto our bellies. So just lie down, flip over onto your belly. I'm actually going to unfold my blankets so that they fully cover my mat. You guys do whatever you want. going to do something called a shoulder pigeon. So for shoulder pigeon, this can be very intense on your upper body. So go slow, use props, and only go as far as you can, okay? So the way we get into shoulder pigeon, you wanna lie down fully on your chest and extend your arms out to a T. I'm gonna do it on the left side first because of the direction that I'm facing, and then I'll do it on the right side. So my left arm is out to a T. My right hand, I'm going to bring right underneath my right shoulder and tent my fingertips so I'm not dumping into my wrist, and squeeze my elbow up towards the sky. From here, bend your right leg. Gently start to press into the floor with your right hand. Keep your left arm out at a T. Keep your left arm exactly where it is. Just rest your head on the blanket, on the mat. Take your right foot. You're going to roll it open. Keep pressing in with your right hand. Just move stuff out of the way back here. And try and get your right foot to step onto the ground behind your right leg and get your left knee to point to the sky. Just keep your right hand right here on the ground in front of you. And you're only going as far as you can. So if you got to about here and that was enough on your left shoulder, that's fine. We're really opening up the front of the shoulder. So it's quite intense, but I want you to stay here and breathe as long as you can. This is one of those poses that will start to mess with your mind. You'll start to feel, sometimes if you're not used to doing poses like this, you might start to feel tense and tight. You really want to go back to the beginning where we did that body scan. Try and scan your way through and relax anything that does not need to be engaged. Oftentimes you will find that your left fingertips might start to tingle. If you get to that point and you can't take it anymore, just slowly roll yourself back onto your belly. And try not to tense up on the left side of your neck. On your exhale, gently drop your right knee and slowly roll back to your belly. Once you get there, just rest your left cheek on the mat. Bring your right arm down and gently bring your left hand down, palms facing up. And just lay here for a moment. Prone Shavasana. From here, we'll take the other side. Gently flip your gaze to the left. Tee out your right arm, straight out in line with your shoulder. And then tent your left fingers underneath your left shoulder. Bend your left leg. Planting your right hand firmly into the ground, you flip yourself over to try and get your left foot onto the ground and open your knee to the sky. And then again, we're just holding here and breathing.
On your exhale, gently roll yourself down, back onto your belly. Keep your right cheek on your mat. And then just let your left hand come down. Draw your right arm down, palms up. Prone Shavasana. Gently bring your chin to the mat and both arms underneath your shoulders. Press the tops of your feet into the ground.
We're going to take Sphinx pose. So our forearms come to the ground, our fingertips reach forward, and our shoulders are over top of our elbows here. Drawing your shoulder blades back together. And just really press down into the floor from your forearms, moving your heart forward. So you want to feel almost like you're dragging yourself forward while pulling your shoulders back. This is called Sphinx pose. Again, so literally this is like you are the Egyptian Sphinx in the deserts of Egypt. Continuing to breathe. This starts to get very intense when you hold this for a long time, so just stay with it. This is, again, another one of those poses that's going to mess with your head. You're going to say, I can't hold this anymore, it hurts, that's too hard, I can't hold it. Just really press into your hands, okay? Stay with it. 3 more breaths. Last breath. And on your exhale, slide your left arm forward. Draw your right arm back. Gently roll yourself over onto your back. We're now completely lying on our backs. Firstly, we're going to take a happy baby. So you start by drawing your knees into your chest. If you can wrap your arms around your knees, give yourself a hug. If not, just draw your knees as close in. You can hug underneath your thighs if that's a little easier than drawing your knees all the way in. If it feels nice to rock side to side on your spine, you can absolutely do that. You don't have to. It doesn't always feel good. So then coming to center and flexing your feet. We're going to lift our feet to the sky to start. Open up your legs. If you've never done this before, this is literally like what babies do when they're lying in their cribs. That's why it's called happy baby. Some people have also called it dead bug, but I don't love that term, dead bug. And you reach to the outsides of your feet to hold on to the soles of your feet while you pull your knees closer to your armpits, and try and keep the back of your neck and the bottom of your tailbone attached to your mat. And just hang out here. So you want to feel your whole spine on the ground. This is a deep hip opener. And like I said, this is something that you can do from cold. You don't have to be warmed up to jump into a happy baby, but I would take it slow the way we've done. Nice slow opening. Don't rush into something like this. And maybe you close your eyes instead of staring at the weird ceiling. Always being able to come back to that body scan.
the soles of your feet towards one another. And then press your knees back together. From here, we'll drop both of our knees, and this is where you'll want to grab any additional pillows or blankets. We're going to put a pillow or a rolled up blanket or towel between our knees. From here, let your knees and your pillow drop off over to the left. And try and keep your right shoulder on the ground. Cactus out your arms. And then if you're comfortable, just take your gaze over your right shoulder. Scanning our body and continuing to just focus on our inhales and our exhales. Slowly bring your gaze back up to the sky. And engaging your abs, draw your knees back through center. If you need to help with your hands, feel free to help with your hands. Readjust the pillow if we feel like we need to. And then slowly drop your knees over to the right side. Plugging your left shoulder down onto the ground. And then if you're ready to, if you would like that extra little twist, drop your gaze over to the left. Noticing if one side was more open than the other. Noticing if perhaps you are kind of allowing yourself to lean over to one side more so than the other. If you're favoring one side or the other. Just really trying to allow yourself to stay here and breathe as deeply as you can. As difficult as it may seem to be at any given moment, to stay with the breath. As I know, it definitely does become challenging sometimes. Gently draw your knees back to your chest. And then just release that pillow, blanket, bolster, whatever it is you're using, and bring it behind you. And you can let your feet come to the ground. Press in with your heels to lift your hips up. You're just going to slide that right underneath your sacrum, which is that triangular portion, the flat triangle part right at the back of your pelvis. So we're just lifting our hips slightly higher than our heart for an inversion, for a supported bridge pose. Now here, if you're feeling really open across your chest, you can keep your palms lifted.
However, for grounding and slowing down purposes, I would encourage you to flip your palms down. But if that does not feel good, if that does not feel natural to you, you can flip your palms up. And we'll be here for 5 more breaths. Gently press into your feet to lift your hips up off of your pillow, your block, your blanket, your bolster, and just slide it out. Slowly lowering yourself down. We're going to take an unpropped Supta Baddha Konasana. So just heel toe your feet together and then let your knees fall open. You can place one hand on your belly and one hand over your heart. Noticing if thoughts coming into your mind are distracting you away from your breath. Just let them float through. If outside noises are distracting you, try and just let them blow right past your ears. Gently release your hands from your body and bring them to your thighs. And just gently encourage your legs down to straight. Press, press, press. Keep them going until they straighten out all the way. Gently roll yourself over to one side. And then from here, use your top hand, press yourself up. Just like you're waking up. And we are gonna move over to our wall or our bed or the back of a couch or anything like that, because we're going to take legs up the wall for our final pose before we take our meditation. So the way we do this, you can prop your sacrum, so the same place we put the prop for our glute bridge, our supported bridge, that's the same place that you're gonna wanna find for this. I'm gonna use the bolster, so I'm gonna place it right up against the wall. But then I'm also going to bring one of my blankets with me so that I'm not laying on the hardwood floor. Just so that you have a soft, supportive place to be. And then you'll want to bring yourself really close to the wall and lift yourself up onto your apparatus. Now, do you have to use apparatus? No, you don't. But the apparatus is nice to have because it just gives you that extra little inversion. So you just inch yourself as close to the wall as you can get. The blanket on the hardwood floor is being a little tricky for me. So I'm actually gonna do this. You just kind of want to scoot yourself as close to the wall as you can. And then once you're there, you can slide that apparatus underneath of you. Here we go. So just slip and slide your way there. And then once you're there, you use the wall to lift yourself up and place that apparatus underneath of you. There we go. It's always a struggle to get into legs up the wall, but once you're there, it's very much worth it. So then you just kind of hang out. You can let your hands rest here. You can let them rest in a cactus. You can bring them up overhead. You can bring them to your heart, to your belly. Whatever feels comfortable for you, whatever feels good. Just close down your eyes. And here, we will take another full body scan. But this time I want you to start at your toes. And work your way to the soles of your feet. Relaxing as you go. Your ankles. Your calves and your shins. Your knees. Your thighs. Your hamstrings. Your pelvis. Your low back. Your belly. Your ribs. Your chest. Your shoulders. Your biceps. elbows, wrists, fingers, your neck, your jaw, your ears, your nose, your eyes, your forehead, the back of your head, and the top of your head. And then bring your awareness back to your breath. Gently bend your knees and bring your feet to the wall. Ever so gently lift up. You can slide that out from underneath of you. And then just let yourself fall over to one side. I've got a bunch of stuff in the way, so I'm going to fall on top of it. Ooh. And then however you can, bring yourself up to sit. I'm going to crawl my way back over here to my mat. But bring yourself back to a comfortable seat now that we've moved all the way around. And really bring yourself to a comfortable seat. Once you're there, sit up nice and tall, palms back to your thighs. Roll your shoulders up, back and down. And bring yourself to attach to the floor underneath you. And I want you to feel the energy of the floor beginning to work its way up through your rooted body parts. And feeling how that connection down to the earth underneath of you changes how the energy that flows through your body feels to you, how it influences your breath patterns, how it influences your thought patterns. And send the energy that you have, that is just you, that is what makes you you. Send that energy down
and into the earth. And feeling how the sharing of your energies may influence your breath, may influence your thoughts, may influence how you feel. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale everything out. Clear everything out. And then all together, inhale through the nose. Hold it at the top. And then long exhale. Once more. Inhale. Hold at the top. And blow it out. Gently coming back to your surroundings. Noticing the sounds and the smells around you. When you're ready to flutter your eyes open, thank you guys for trusting me and moving through this practice with me today. I hope that it brought you a sense of peace and the ability to slow down and reconnect with yourself and with the space around you. And feel free to come back to this practice whenever you feel that you need it. The light in me sees and honors the light in all of you, as is the same. Namaste.